How's it going everyone? Jakexvx here, back on Forza Horizon 3 today. Now today what I'm going to be doing is a type of guide video or a tips and tricks or a helpful video for you lot. Because I've been watching quite a lot of other people's Forza's videos lately and I've noticed that not many people use manual with clutch. That may be because they don't want to use manual with clutch, but I suspect that most people don't genuinely know how to use manual with clutch or can't get used to using it or just, don't get along with it. Me, in the past, I used to stick on automatic. I could not use manual with clutch. This is back in the Forza Motorsport 5 days. Before then, I just could not use manual with clutch. It was just way too hard. Even manual was a bit of a bummer to get used to. But now I can easily use manual with clutch without even thinking about it. It just comes naturally, like driving a real car or riding a real life bike. Everything just comes naturally. So today I'm going to walk through how you can get used to manual with clutch, the easiest ways to use it for anybody with a normal Xbox controller or an Xbox Elite controller, because that's what I use and it does help quite a bit. So if you're not sure what manual with clutch even is, I'm going to switch mine to automatic right now and I'm going to go from first gear to fifth gear so you can just see how it acts. Right, I'm full throttle right now. As you can see, it automatically changes gear for you at around 6,000 to 7,000 RPM. Now if I switch to manual with clutch, which is what I just did, you will see a big increase in speed. I will accelerate quicker and the gears will not change until I'm at a higher RPM, making it sound cooler, etc, etc. So let's give this a go. This is manual with clutch. As you can see, when I brake, it just doesn't go down gears for me. I have to manually do it like that. And being able to choose what gear you're in is a huge help in races and when you're drifting and so on and so on. And I do know that there are quite a lot of young or kind of, beginner Forza players that watch these videos that might want to move to manual or maybe even manual with clutch. But anyway, to use manual with clutch, basically B is upper gear and X is downer gear. Now what I am going to do is I advise you to go to your settings, controls, and then change your e-brake with your clutch, meaning your clutch will be A instead of LB. It means that your handbrake, it means that the e-brake will be LB and no longer A, but it means you can access the clutch with the same finger you're going to use to go up and down a gear. So definitely when you're starting with manual with clutch, turn this on to put your clutch as the A button. Now this first bit of the guide is going to be for people without an Elite controller. So now as you have the A as the clutch button, I'm going to hold A right now and pull the trigger. You see, because I have the clutch held in, nothing's happening. B will take you up gears, as you can see, and X will take you down gears, like so. Now for manual with clutch to work, to change gears, you need to get to wherever you want to change. You have to let off the throttle and then click the clutch and up or down at the same time. So if you're going from first to second to third to fourth to fifth, you're going to go up the revs, let go of the throttle, click A and B. Up again, let go of the throttle, A and B. And that is much easier than having to click LB and B, because A and B are right next to each other and you can use your thumb to click A and B at the same time. Once again, we're going to go up to the top of third, off the throttle, A and B. Off the throttle, A and B. And to go down a gear, you just want to brake. You don't have to let off the brake as long as you are off the throttle. So you can brake, click X and A, X and A, X and A, X and A with the same thumb. That is much, much easier. And I suggest just continuously doing that. Go up and down the airstrip with a car that doesn't burn out too much. If you have to, turn traction control and stability control on, and that will help quite a bit. But just practice going to the top of gears, letting off the throttle and clicking A and B. If you want an even smoother gear change, I suggest swiping your finger along A and B. Instead of clicking them all at the same time, click the A button just a tiny little bit before you click the upper gear, and that will give a little bit of a smoother gear change. But if you completely resort to just clicking A and B at the same time, that will be fine. You probably won't see much of a difference. Now obviously the finger you're going to want to use to go up and down a gear while clicking the clutch, etc. is your thumb, because your thumb activates this right analog stick that would only do this, which you never really use. I actually do use it, which I'll explain how in a minute, but most people don't. So use your thumb to click A and B to go up a gear, and again use your thumb to go X and A to go down a gear. And having the clutch and the gears right next to each other on your controller is much easier than having it on the bumper. So make sure that this setting is on right here. This makes a huge difference. Now there are a lot of advantages to having manual with clutch on. If you're on automatic, for example, you cannot rev your car like this while you are moving. I have the clutch held in, I have my finger on A, and I'm revving while my car's moving. It means you can circle people while revving. You know, it's just a cool thing you can do that would be impossible to do while on automatic or even manual. And it also means if I'm going, say, 120 miles an hour and I hold the clutch in, it just all stops and I'm still rolling with absolutely no engine sound whatsoever. And as I said earlier, manual with clutch, it helps so much in races, because you know when you're in automatic, no matter how fast you're going, if you're at the point of the rev limiter where it's going to change gear, it's going to do it for you, even if you don't want it. If you go around a corner, it's going to do it. It's very awkward. Once you can get used to going up and down the gears in manual with clutch, taking on the road, just get used to that cornering and knowing what gear you're in, and you'll be absolutely fantastic in races. It makes a huge difference. Now if you have an Xbox Elite controller, this is going to be just as tricky, but you are going to have so much more fun with it because you can do so much more things. There's my Twitter going on my phone. I'm going to leave a photo of my controller right now, the back of it, of what paddles I have on my Elite controller. So as you can see right here, I have two paddles on my controller. One of them is on the top left hand spot, and it is actually the big paddle, which doesn't belong in that spot. But if you put the big paddle there, program that button to be A, aka clutch, and then on the bottom right hand corner we have one of these small paddles which will be B, upper gear, which I can have my three other fingers, or two, on those paddles on the back, and I can go up a gear just by clicking both of those in without having to use my thumb at all. As you can see, I'm using my thumb on this analog stick, and I can go up gears because I'm using the paddles on the back. Now you still have to use X and A to go down a gear, but going up a gear you just have to use two paddles on the back, which your fingers are already resting on at all times. Now this does take longer to get used to, but it means as you're driving, even with manual with clutch, you can access the camera at all times. But as I said, you have to use your thumb to click X and A to go down a gear, even with the paddles on the back. Honestly, anybody can do it. Trust me. If you're watching this thinking, oh that's too complicated, I can't do that, trust me, you can. Go to the airport, spend even half an hour getting used to this, take it on the roads, you know, drive slow if you have to, get in a Volkswagen Beetle if you have to, which isn't even in the game. But once again everyone, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please leave a comment down below if you need any help with this, because it is a difficult thing to get used to, but once you're used to it, It's brilliant. So if you have any questions or more advice, let me know down below and I will be sure to help you out, because this is a skill that you're going to want to have. So leave a like if you've enjoyed, everyone. Subscribe if you're new for more Forza stuffs, and I will see you in the next video.